What's your first name?
Merl.
Merl, what needs fixing, Merl? Oh, right, arthritis in the hands, is it?
Arthritis.
Oh, I'm not allowed to diagnose.
You didn't see it.
No, it's not like I'm saying you've got cancer, yeah.
No.
So, right, okay, and I'm not a doctor. All right, and how long have they been like that?
This hand just in the last year, this hand probably 6 years.
Right,
And I've also
okay.
had a carpal tunnel down on there, but not on this one.
Right, so that one's going to be easy to fix, eh? You've worked that one out, eh? That's only been like it for a year. This one's been 5 or 6, so I'm going to start round that side. I'll get somebody just to flick us the heating back on if they would. It gets too warm, then it gets too cold. Right, okay. Now, arthritis. All right, let me explain. Sometimes on Facebook, people get upset with me because they say, how dare you say there's no such thing as arthritis? What I say is this. Arthritis isn't a thing. Let me explain. My name is Jeanette. How do I know my name's Jeanette? When I was little, as a baby, my mum and dad called me Jeanette. My sister was called Karen, my brother was called Paul. Depending on whose turn it was to do the dishes, usually me because I was the eldest girl, one of us would get summoned. It was a little label our parents had to tell us what to do. Yeah, Paul, come and pick up your bricks, or Jeanette, come and pick up your Meccano, whatever we were playing with. But there isn't such a thing as Jeanette. I've got a body, my body's a thing, it's got height, width and depth. But who is Jeanette? I will never find out who Jeanette is because Jeanette doesn't exist. Yeah? I'm a consciousness in a body, but I know this. And any of the men in the audience will know this for sure. We as women, aren't we fickle things? We can say we like one thing one night and the next night we're completely different because we say, well, actually now we like this. Have you changed over the years? Have your tastes changed? Foods? Was there a time where you couldn't stand alcohol, then you found you liked it, it was really rather nice? Yeah? So what happens is we actually change, our likes and dislikes change, and so there's no set thing that is Jeanette. I'm sort of a cluster of likes, desires and wants that could change in any moment and I could become somebody different. So there isn't a Jeanette. There's a personality, there's an intelligence, I would like to think, there's emotions, but there's not a Jeanette. Yeah, that makes sense? Now when we label a cluster of symptoms, arthritis, swelling, difficult painful joints, maybe worse in temperature, when we label it arthritis, arthritis isn't a thing. The swelling is real, the redness is real, the swollen joints is real, the pain is real, but arthritis isn't a thing, it's a label. Will I ever find a cure for arthritis? No, it's not a thing. How are you going to find a cure for it? Think about this. You can't find a cure for something that's not a thing. You can find a cure for the swelling. You can take away the pain. But you won't ever find a cure for arthritis because arthritis isn't a thing. Now let's extrapolate that and say cancer. Will they ever find a cure for cancer? No, because cancer's not a thing. A cell can behave in a cancerous way, which means I think of cancerous cells as greedy. They're taking more than their fair share of nutrients and they're holding onto it to the detriment of the rest of the organism. But cancer isn't a thing, so we're never going to find a cure for it. All we've got to do is find out the underlying cause of it and address that. And so anybody looking for a cancer cure, keep looking, you're never going to find one. Just throw millions of dollars at it, you're never going to find it. You've got to look and see what are the symptoms and what is the cause of the symptoms and address the underlying cause. Now where conventional medicine goes wrong is if they can't see it under a microscope, if it's not in an MRI scan, it doesn't exist. Bullshit. Does love not exist? Does spring not exist? Does fear not exist? These are all things that are not things, but we can't see them under a microscope. When we can't see the cause of the arthritis under a microscope, they don't know. They throw their hands up and say, well, we don't know what causes it. Well, I do know what causes it. Feelings and or toxins that are stored in the body at a cellular level. When we're living in a world that is very toxic, as ours is now, could be worse, but it could also be a lot better. The toxins that we inhale or get injected through vaccines. Imagine injecting yourself with toxins. It's really weird, that. But anyway, some people do choose to do that themselves and their babies. Strange choice, but some people do. In the foods that you eat, in what you put on your skin, that can contain toxins, in deodorants, in air fresheners, in oven cleaners that you use. Toxins, toxins, toxins. Now, your body can't cope with those toxins. It doesn't know how to get rid of a lot of them. And if the liver is under any kind of stress, because your liver is your major detox organ, those toxins can't be extracted from the blood, as is supposed to happen, and sent to either the gallbladder to go out in the feces, or the kidneys to go out in the urine. Instead, those toxins get stored in the space around the cells, and they make our joints creak or crackle. Hands up if you've got joints that creak or crackle. Chances are that's toxins. It's just toxins. Now, if we can give your cells a bit more energy so that they can get rid of those toxins, your body will return to health. Now, just try that hand out, see how that's feeling. Any different? Still the same? Right, I've got to try harder then. Cool. So, and I joke, trying harder. That's one thing these surgeons don't do, is try hard. If you tried hard to do something, your whole body would tense up. It's not the way to go. In fact, don't try at all, ever. You either do a thing or not. It's that simple. You just either decide you're doing it or not. Don't try and kick the wall, because it will not work. Right, okay. So, one finger at a time now. So what's happening in my hand over here is there's this strange energy that I've not felt before, except when I work on arthritis. So I don't feel this energy at any other times than when I feel arthritis. It's a bit of a sour energy. Now the other thing, apart from toxins that can cause energy to get stuck in the hands like this, because this is hands are handling life, arthritis in there, it can be if life isn't how you want it to be at the moment. So if you've got an idea for how your life was going to be and then your life didn't turn out the way you wanted, that can cause the arthritis, yeah? Who will be that one? Yeah. Right, give it another try. That's better, eh? Because I hit the nail on the head. You see, hers wasn't toxins, hers was the life isn't how she wanted it to be. Hands up if your life is how you want it to be. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well,
Yeah.
apart from
Apart from what we're working on, right. But as a general rule, most of us, our life isn't how we want it to be. But this is the secret, guys. You've got to love what is. Whatever's showing up in your life now, love it. Because either it's a lesson or a test, great, that means you're advancing, or it's a manifestation of what you were thinking, doing before. So if I've put on a little bit of weight and I'm not happy with my weight, there's no point in getting cross with myself now, because I ate the extra food back then. Yeah, this is just a manifestation of my old thoughts, my old behaviours. Might as well enjoy this now and eat well now, and my future self will be created by what I eat now. But if I give myself a hard time now, well actually I'm doing really well, I'm going to the gym and I'm doing my yoga every morning, then I'll actually manifest how I am now into the future, yeah? So we've got to be really, really aware that whatever's showing up in our reality now is a consequence of how we used to be. So be glad it's here, whatever it is. If it's a financial problem, be glad it's here. If it's too much work, be glad it's here. It's a consequence of what happened before. As you're glad that it's here, then all your energy is free to start creating the future. Just check that one again. That's nice, isn't it? Is that nearly like normal?
Yeah, a little bit of pain through there, but yeah,
Yeah.
I can actually bend it.
You can bend it. So
Yeah.
rest that one down. I'm just going to get that last little bit there. Cool. All right, so arthritis tends to be, it's a little bit of perfectionism. I've just got that piece now. Anybody like some arthritis? See, arthritis isn't a thing, but there is an energy at the base of arthritis, and I can feel it. And once I can feel it, I can take it out of your body. So I've not met the person yet where I can't completely remove all arthritis. Isn't that cool? The person could recreate the situation within them with negative thinking. I don't want my life to be like this. However your life is, be grateful for it. Could be worse. Could be worse. You can always think of somebody worse off than you, can't you? Yeah. So whatever's showing up in your life, be grateful. It's either a lesson, it's a test, it's the manifestation of how you used to be. Be grateful for it that now that is clearing, that's going, and now you're going to have all your energy free to create for yourself the life you want. If you want more on that, come tomorrow night. That's all about you realizing how the life you've manifested for yourself is all about your thoughts, your feelings, your subconscious programming that was put into you ages 0 to 7, and we bring your awareness into that so that you can free yourself financially and start creating a different future for yourself. Now, give that another go. That's good, isn't it? Now this one, we've been warming up, ready for this hand. Warming up. Right. Cool. Right. Now this hand is different to your other one. This is you not resting when you need rest. And you've got to learn to rest mentally. The body can't rest physically if you can't rest mentally. But when you're raised with a strong work ethic, and it's not okay to just rest. Yeah, so when you were growing up as a kid, were you encouraged to work from quite a young age? Yeah. So she's got a really strong work ethic, and she's not used to just putting up her feet and resting. Have you ever done that?
No.
No. It's not in the makeup, yeah? And that's what's in this hand. This hand is trying to say there are times we all need rest. I don't mean sleep. I mean just to stand back from life, no cell phones on, no television on, and just rest. You know, whether it's watching the sea, or the birds, or the stars in the night sky. It just takes some time just to relax and be, yeah? That's what this hand is about. Now, if you commit to doing that, I can fix this really, really fast. But if you don't, then I can't. So just let yourself commit. But you're going to take, well, this will be quite hard for you, I reckon, 10 minutes a day, every day from now on, 10 minutes a day at a time you choose to just sit and do nothing. Deal? All right, try your hand. Yeah. Now the thing is, it's a bit like a little catch-22, this one, because like, if it doesn't take her 10 minutes each day, guess what's going to happen? It's going to go back. All right, to remind you, so this hand is on your side, yeah? And it's reminding you 10 minutes rest, just whenever. You get to choose when. Yeah, cool. Now they're just going to do a little bit more, because he's showing off mood today. This is the surgeon that's working through me, and I better give credit where credit is due, is called Dr. Augusto de Almeida. He's been in spirit world 200 years. He usually works with John of God in Brazil. If you've heard of John of God, he's the world's most amazing healer. If you want to go over to see John of God, you can't at the moment, because he's under house arrest. That man's done far too much good for far too long, and he's been taken out of action with some very spurious allegations against him, which may or may not be true. So the surgeons that work through me work through John of God, but when they work through John of God, they actually use scalpels. Hey, a few drops of holy water they'll slice into a breast and pull out a tumour in front of your eyes. Now, that's impressive, isn't it? But if I did it here, it'd make a hell of a mess of my white clothes, and I'd probably go to jail, and I'm really glad they don't. They work using sound and light through me, and that amazing purple powder. That purple powder has fallen into my lap, because I'm one of the few people on the planet that would understand it truly is amazing. It's made entirely of purple rice. It's grown in a pristine part of the planet where there aren't even roads, so it's all entirely organic. Then it's micronized. Now, you've probably not heard of that word before, so I'll explain it. If I was to mill up the rice, you would get tremendous benefit from it. Micronized, we take just 1% of the rice. We take the carbohydrates, the sugars and the carbs, and we take the proteins, the full range of amino acids and the proteins. Why do we do that? Inside your body, you have 50 trillion cells. You are a 50 trillion celled organism. And each of those cells, for you to be healthy, needs to take in nutrition, get rid of waste matter, and communicate with the other cells. Yeah? When a cell has cancer, it stops communicating with other cells. So how do cells communicate with each other? Well, firstly, number one, on the surface of the cell is a little thing. It's like a little branch of a little tree called a glycophore. It's like a little antennae, and that picks up signals from the other cells and from the environment. Now, that glycophore is built using glyconutrients. The modern day diet doesn't have those glyconutrients. We need those 8 essential sugars. The purple powder has the 8 essential sugars. It's a glyconutrient. Now, the antenna checks the environment, or checks what the other cells are communicating, and then a message is sent into the cell on a protein. That stuff is called PXP, polysaccharides. That's the sugars, the glyconutrients, multiplied by polypeptides, the full range of peptides and amino acids, proteins. And so what happens is each and every cell in your body has more energy to do what it needs to do. It's got more energy to take in the nutrients. It's got more energy to get rid of the waste matter. It's got more glycoforms on its surface to communicate with other cells. Guess what happens? You start getting really, really well. You sleep better, you have more energy, you think more clearly, and you can handle stress better. And a little bit later on, as you go out the door, we're going to be wrapping up real soon, we'll show you some photographs of me before the powder. It's scary. Right, give that a go. Very good, eh? Awesome. Give her a round of applause.